One of my good friends, Brett Mull, he actually got me into it, and he said it was real fun, and I'm glad that I did. I met a lot of people.
I got involved in theater because it's always something that I've wanted to do, and it took me 2 years into high school to finally get into it because I was scared of Miss Thomas, but she's really not that scary.
My two older brothers, Eric and Luke, they were in theater for all 4 years, so I thought I might as well follow in their footsteps. Did the same thing with choir also.
Well, initially I started because all my friends were doing it. I thought it would be a fun thing to do since I was not doing as many sports anymore.
Junior year, a lot of my friends were planning on taking the class, so I decided I would give it a try. Plus I didn't have another class to take.
I'd always wanted to do theater, but I was always just so shy, and I finally just plucked up the courage to do it because my friend was doing it, and so I tried out and I got a part and I was so excited.
Well, my brother was in it, but that really wasn't what got I just have always loved watching the plays, and I've always wanted to do them since I was a little girl.
When my sister was in high school, she always was in theater and she did crew. So I actually showed up at the auditions for Ask Any Girl last year, the fall play, and I just wanted to do crew, but Miss Thomas made me get on stage, and I ended up getting a pretty decent part, so.
Geez, I was involved in theater since the time I was a freshman in high school, and I auditioned and loved theater all the way through high school, so when I decided to be a teacher, I knew I wanted to direct as well as teach English. So it's been a lifelong passion for me.
I would say that my cousin Francis inspires me. From a young age, he's always been like a best friend towards me, and he went military, so I don't get to see him a lot anymore, but I love the guy.
My mom inspires me because she's just so outgoing and friendly, and she just talks to people so well, and I've always wanted to be like that. And I'm still working on it, but I feel like I'm getting there.
My mom inspires me because she's always so nice and positive with everything, and she always makes me smile when I'm sad.
My parents, they're both really supportive of everything that I do and all my choices.
The very first musical that I watched, I was in about 3rd grade. And that was Bye Bye Birdie, and the director of the elementary school that I went to, her name was Sharon Rimbelski, and she was a huge inspiration for me. And my high school director's name was Will Fowler, and he's still directing to this day up in Sault Ste. Marie. So as far as inspiring me to direct, those would be the two people that really made an impression on me. But really, working with all of the kids is an inspiration every single time, because when you see how successful they are and how it impacts them on a personal level, that is really an inspiration as well.
No other class can teach you the set of skills that this class teaches you, and really no other class challenges you in the same aspects.
I think they're really important because they develop you as a person, and I mean personally I have developed with my social skills, and in other classes if I have to do a speech, I'm pretty good at public speaking now because I'm over the fright of getting up and talking in front of people.
I feel performing arts are important because they're so overlooked. People look towards sports and other areas as more important, where music and theater are just as liberating and can be just as entertaining.
They help people to come out of their shells, help people to be creative, and they make it so that not everything is just so monotone in life.
A lot of people coming into high school don't really know a lot about what they like and what they like doing, and being involved in something solely based on your creativity really helps you come out of your shell as a person.
They're really important to me because they have helped me develop a lot of friendships that I probably would have never had, and it also helps a lot with time management when you have to learn your lines and when you're supposed to come in a scene, and of course getting me to be able to public speak and have a greater social advantage.
I think the performing arts gives a different group of people a chance to be successful. We see athletes, and athletes are amazing, and we see their talents all the time, and we recognize that a lot. But sometimes there's kids who aren't inclined that way, and this gives them a way to be recognized and show their talents to a wide group of people. I also think that being in the arts inspires creativity, it inspires thinking, it inspires a desire to excel throughout life. It's a skill, being able to speak in front of people and being able to perform in front of people, that you'll use no matter what career pathway you go into. So it's very beneficial.
I've benefited by coming out of my shell and also developing my voice in singing and other aspects.
Well, performing arts has really allowed me to come out of my shell a lot. Earlier in my high school career, I was very shy, very not social at all with many people, but now I'm friends with a lot of different people. I've learned a whole lot of different things about myself.
Freshman and sophomore years, I was extremely shy, and I had a small group of friends, and anyone beyond that I tried to communicate with as little as possible. And then junior year, I took this class, and I really came out of my shell and started talking to a lot of people and became just more social in general.
Since I've joined theater, I joined just over a year ago, last January, and I think since then I've really come out of my shell. Like last year, whenever my mom told me to order my own food at a restaurant, I would almost cry. And now I'm not like that anymore.
I'm more comfortable talking in front of a group of people, and I'm more likely to go help someone if they need it.
When I was in high school, middle school, I was painfully shy. I would refrain from going to talk to people I didn't know. It was debilitating as a kid. And once I got out on stage and learned to be a different person on stage, my confidence grew a ton.
In the very beginning, I used to have horrible stage fright, and after a few months, I slowly started seeing that dissolve.
I don't have challenges because I'm good.
The biggest challenge I've ever faced is just projecting on stage, because you have to have such a good projection to be heard, and I have a naturally quiet, deep voice. So
Time management has been my biggest challenge. Having 2 or 3 hour play practices as well as swim practice and school and homework and all that stuff, it's tough.
It's really hard. I mean, I'm pretty loud. That's a challenge. I've lost my voice a few times.
The biggest challenge I face as a director of high school is hurting people's feelings. Just like with sports, you have to have cuts. To some extent, everybody can't always have a lead role. And I hate having to disappoint people, but sometimes I have to. And that's my challenge.
Being able to say I've had a lead in a play.
I would say my greatest accomplishment would probably be getting Joseph this year. It's a big part and it's a lot of fun to do.
Probably getting the lead male role last year, or during the fall play Walk Two Moons. I was Gramps. That was a really fun part to play, and I really enjoyed that show a lot.
Getting the role in this musical that I wanted to since last year when we watched the movie in class. I really wanted one role and I got it, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, this last fall I was the lead role in our fall play, Walk Two Moons. I was Salamanca Hiddle, so that was pretty cool.
When I got the part Liesel last year, I was really excited, but I had to learn to not brag about it, because you have to learn that other people are upset when they don't get the role that you wanted to. So you have to learn to think about what other people are feeling.
My greatest accomplishment was probably my role this previous year in the fall play. I was Phoebe Winterbottom, and I was a large supporting character.
I think tackling musicals has been my greatest accomplishment, because again, I was afraid of singing as a kid. So looking at music, getting into a musical, it's nerve-wracking when you're not that skilled. And I've learned a lot in 10 years. I can read music now. I will sing with the kids now. So that's been, I think, the biggest accomplishment.
My favorite performance was The Sound of Music.
I think probably my favorite performance would be the murder mystery theater, the audition for murder that I did my junior year.
My favorite performance is Joseph, actually. I think it's the most entertaining one. Rock opera, very interesting.
I like Walk Two Moons the most, for sure. It was a very interesting play. A lot of thought went into it, and we had a lot of fun with that.
My favorite performance was the murder mystery that we just did at the beginning of February, The Wedding from Hell. That was a lot of fun.
My favorite performance was when we did the murder mystery and I was Fanny.
My favorite performance was probably Walk Two Moons, but my most memorable practices were probably for this previous murder mystery, A Wedding from Hell.
My favorite performance so far was Annie, the musical Annie that we did a few years ago. The singing and dancing in that one was a lot of fun, but I think that Joseph this year is going to top that for me.
For being a male like I am, and in a county that we have where it's somewhat frowned upon to go into choir or something like that, it's important that we encourage young males to look at that and want to go into it also.
Theater and all performing arts really help people to be more creative and make things and be a part of things. And not everyone can just do sports or just do like BPA or stuff like that. People need to be creative and have a place where they can be creative and not be shamed for it.
I feel like this should be a thing that, like I did, people shouldn't just take it, students shouldn't think to take it just because they don't have another class. I feel like we should like spread in our community that this is actually a hugely beneficial class and it's important to students.
I think it's important because it takes a lot of courage for the kids that do join theater to be on stage and be able to perform for them. And it's really to entertain our community because here in West Branch we don't always have a lot going on. And I just feel like it's overlooked a lot of the times.
Without the community support, we wouldn't be here. The reality of it is that we don't get any funding from the schools because there isn't any funding there. So anything that we want to do, we have to sell tickets in order to pay for it. And so if the community comes out and supports our endeavors, the more they support us, the better we can do. The better costumes, the better sound, the better lighting, and overall better shows.
I would come out and enjoy a show.
I would let it be known that we have a good program, that we are here and we are ready to perform and show people that we are good.
I guess spreading more awareness for the shows and stuff. I mean, we sell a lot of shows already, so I think there's a good amount of awareness and support already, but
I would just tell people to come watch one show and they would see how amazing it is.
I would just invite as many people as I can to see a show, and that's what I do. I tell all my friends, you have to come and see at least one show, and usually they do.
I think we have pretty good support right now, but I would just like ask them to go to the shows, and we really put a lot of work into, we've put in like 3 months work for 4 nights, and so we want to do this for other people. It's not just us. We really want to put on a good show and make people happy when they watch us. So
I think there is a lot of support so far for people to come watch our plays, but we definitely need to start advertising for people to join theater.
What I would love to see happen is sell out all 4 nights and give me a reason to do a second weekend of shows. I've had people ask for more shows before, and a lot of times it's not cost effective. So that, you know, and I like to do shows that the community wants to come and see.